The 2020 MLS season officially starts on Saturday. What do the Five Stars need to do to start the year off with a win? We discuss next.
What's going on, Five Star fam? I'm AJ, this is Mark. This segment is sponsored by Thinking Man Tavern, a cozy neighborhood pub you should definitely check out for your next Atlanta United watch party. Grab a tasty beverage from a wide variety of selections and a plate of something delicious from the menu. They also have trivia nights, board games, darts, a great place to just chill and enjoy yourself. Check out Thinking Man Tavern. Welcome to the match preview. It's looking like Nashville SC is going to have a sellout for their opener, and that's big. You're welcome from Atlanta United fans, but it looks like it's also going to be a hell of a match, albeit in the cold. It's 49 as a high and 36 as a low.
8 p.m. kickoff, so closer to that 36 probably.
Right, and some wind chill of with 6 miles per hour winds. Not too bad at the end of the day, but it is an outdoor stadium that we will have to contend with.
Right, yeah, so if you're making the trip out there, it's not cozy like the Benz.
Definitely not, but yeah, it will be shown on also Big Fox and Fox Deportes. But yeah, in terms of what type of team Nashville SC is, that's really the big question, because are they kind of, more Atlanta United LAFC, or are they more Minnesota United or FC Cincinnati in terms of recent expansion teams?
Yeah, they're probably hoping not to be too much like those expansion teams. As you remember, they struggled heavily out of the gate. I will say, I think in terms of Cincinnati specifically, I think they were concerned about how they spent their money even before a ball was kicked. It seems like Nashville's gone for a more patient build. They have 2 DP slots actually unfilled, and where they've invested, is their defense. You know, the big acquisition of
Walker Zimmerman from LAFC, a big trade. Really perplexing actually from LAFC to do it right before the season started, essentially.
Yeah, if they struggle, I mean, they already looked not great against Leon, and if they continue to struggle, I think questions will be asked. But yeah, as for Walker, I mean, look, it's a big get. He's the second best American center back in the league, maybe?
Yeah, arguably, and he definitely made a best 11 for MLS.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, definitely is a guy that is one of those kind of elite center backs in this league for sure.
Yep.
They've also brought veterans like Dax McCarty, like Anibal Godoy,
like Henny Mukar, Dom Bajji to be the number 9, and so these are guys who've been around MLS, and they bring that experience at the very least.
Right, but in terms of where they ultimately kind of end up, it doesn't seem like they're going to be kind of the wooden spoon in FC Cincinnati in terms of conceding a lot of goals.
Right.
So in that respect, it really will be interesting how they will score goals. That's really, I think, the big question for them.
Yes.
But in terms of their manager, it's Gary Smith, who's got a little bit of history in this league. He's won the 2010 MLS Cup with Colorado Rapids.
And a familiar name in the fold,
Definitely.
Jeff Larentowicz was on that team.
Right, so he's got a little bit of that experience. He's also been an Arsenal scout, which is interesting as well.
He's also been in Atlanta before with the Silverbacks. Unfortunately, he managed that last season before they, kind of folded. I'm not sure what their status is.
Became Atlanta SC.
It's
a strange scenario, all of that. But I mean, he's definitely got experience in the U.S. He's an Englishman. So in terms of that, he's not maybe the kind of typical English manager in that he's going to play a 4-4-2 and be fairly pragmatic and all that.
Right.
Although he probably could be as well, but I think he can be a little bit more flexible. Has been known to play some 4-3-3 formations as well.
Right.
And depending on, he's been able to be pretty successful, obviously, in winning an MLS Cup. So.
Right. Yeah.
But in terms of their preseason, they had a pretty decent, actually, preseason. They had 3 wins and 2 draws and 1 loss. And so they also played some familiar people that we played as well.
Yeah, IF Elfsborg. They drew with them 0-0. That match was a few days before Elfsborg played Atlanta United. And I think reports suggested that Elfsborg, I think because of that match, maybe had a little bit of fire going into the
a little
Atlanta
chip on
match.
their shoulder
Yeah.
because drawing 0-0 to an expansion team, they were like, no, we ain't having that. So, so they definitely played us tough. And
Yes,
so
as we remember.
Yeah, I mean, Zeko Barco definitely remembers.
Yes.
That's for sure. But yeah, and so their last preseason match was against DC United. And in terms of kind of the way they set up, it looked like maybe a 4-3-3. Yeah, you can see the lineup here. It's interesting. Who was in there? Zimmerman, you see in there. You have McCarty and Godoy locking it down in the middle. Bajji up top, and
Right.
a couple of other guys that we'll speak about now. In terms of their danger men, yeah, it looks like Dominic Bajji, the forward. He's a 27-year-old Senegalese. He has 8 goals and 38 appearances in the past for FC Dallas, and 24 goals and 91 appearances for the Rapids. So, yeah, I mean, he's the guy that is tasked with putting away their goals.
He's gonna wear the number 9, yeah. He's gonna be their target man, really.
Right.
Another forward that they have is Randall Leal. He is out of Costa Rica. He's 23 years old. He actually came through the powerhouse Saprissa, and at 21 years old, so a couple years ago, he made his senior national team debut. He also played with the national team in the 2019 Gold Cup, and so yeah, I think with his age, they're probably
There's a lot of promise for him.
They're
and,
banking on his potential, and hopefully they're hoping that he provides some offensive spark.
From the wing, it seems like, and so yeah, I mean, they have some guys that can at least maybe try to create some goals for them. In the middle, of course, like we mentioned, McCarty, 32-year-old U.S. men's national. But in terms of, I think he's probably going to be their captain.
Yeah.
I think the betting odds are probably that he is. He's an MLS veteran with the Fire, with the Red Bulls, with DC. I mean, it's he's that deep lying playmaker that
he's gonna sit in front of the defense, help shield them, help dictate play.
Yeah, indeed. But another new guy.
Left back Dan Lovitz. He's spent 6 years in the league with Toronto and Montreal. He's 28 years old. Player in his prime. Again, another investment in their defense, and so he brings a little bit of experience, but like I said, he's in their prime as well. I mean, maybe they'll be depending on him to get forward a little bit to help the attack somewhat. So interesting to see what impact the Lovitz has.
Yeah, and another MLS veteran, and David Akam is on this squad as well. He's a pretty familiar name in MLS circles. In terms of if I fear him, I wouldn't really say that, but and hopefully, he doesn't just score against us just because I said that. Knock on wood. But in terms of for Atlanta United, if there are some Nashville SC fans watching, Jose Martinez, of course, is our main danger man. With 27 goals, 3 assists in MLS last season. In terms of PT Martinez, is another guy who has had a great preseason and a couple games in the Champions League. Had 7 goals and 11 assists last season.
Right, and I would say certainly has been our best player in the first 2 matches that we have played. So.
Right, and another guy that's integral into our team as well is Fernando Mesa. He replaces the kind of role that LGP had in kind of the more experienced center back, kind of holding it down for our back line with the experience, with the ball playing ability. So he's a guy that who will be relying on a good bit.
And he has had his role, I think, maybe maximized even more with Miles Robinson. Now he's had to play in the middle, and so I don't know if that's going to be the plan all season, but I think it certainly makes sense to move
certainly for now.
Certainly your most experienced center back. He's going to play in the middle, and I think Mesa has done a good job commanding the back line, communicating with Guzan, and so I think we'll see how that relationship develops going forward.
Yeah, and in terms of the losses from this team, a large number of players have made an exodus in a sense, but the big names in Darlington Nagbe, in Julian Gressel, Leandro Gonzalez Perez, and some of the kind of more fill out the 18 sort of semi-regular starters, and Justin Miram and Florentine Pogba have also made an exit. And so there's thousands of minutes that have actually exited the team, unfortunately, but I think we've shorted up pretty decently with some kind of potential talents and also some experience, but
I think maybe a hole or two still, but overall, I think
in terms
the
of
roster,
depth, it's maybe not quite where we exactly want it, and especially with some things that get in the way in terms of work permits and stuff. But
players actually joining the team. Yep.
But so in terms of the injury report for Nashville, it seems like they have a pretty clean bill of health, so pretty decent. That's good for them. Unfortunately for us, we only have 22 senior players that are not on loan to another club on the roster. So we have 5 guys essentially that are out. And that starts with Miles Robinson, who's still out with a quad. He has been, kind of ruled out essentially for Nashville.
They seem to be taking a deliberate approach with him as well, which totally makes sense. It's early days, and it's going to be a long season, and we need Miles to be healthy. So no need to rush him back.
Right, and he's been apparently kind of running on a treadmill and the bike and stuff, so he at least is able to stay fit in a sense.
Right.
But Edgar Castillo also has been in some non-contact training, but his broken rib is still the reason that he's being kept out.
Right. George Bello, of course, as we remember, suffered that nasty concussion, but he seems to be almost recovered. He's actually going to play for AU2 this weekend, and so hopefully he'll be rejoining the first team soon, but it is good to see that he will be back in action at the very least.
Right. And onto some kind of pretty more, a little bit more promising and encouraging news is that Mateus Rossetto is, he was said to be 2 to 3 weeks away from being available due to a work permit, but it said that he made an appointment for the Brazilian embassy on Friday and will get that sorted out. So hopefully that gets done with some expedient pace.
Hopefully.
And then Manuel Castro, his visa has been approved, and so it is said that he will likely be joining the team on Monday. That is great news because we have been filling the coffers with some guys that either from our Atlanta United 2 or guys on 4-day contracts. It's just been a little bit makeshift where we don't have all the tools and kind of bullets in the holster that we need.
Right, and I mean the board himself has talked up Castro. Has named him as a potential starter, certainly somebody that can compete for starting minutes. So it'll be interesting to see where that is. It seems like wingback is probably the most likely place that he can compete for minutes. But I mean, in
terms of Castro, I think he also could kind of spell the forwards as well. I think he's a guy that's, for Barco, for PT, can really fill in when and if they, are not involved.
Right.
But, he will really have to figure out his role in the team because, right now we're playing with wingbacks. And there have been some games, that we've played with 4 men in the back. Is he going to supplant maybe one of those guys? We shall see. Literally no one has seen him play in an Atlanta United shirt.
Right.
Even Frank de Boer even mentioned it, I think today. We were filming this on a Thursday. He said that it would be nice to see his face. So
just a bit of the dry humor from the Dutchman.
But so let's get to the keys of the game. I think, definitely because it looked great against Monterrey in terms of, Mesa in the middle, Walks on the left, against Matagua, rather. And, Escobar on the right for the 3-man back line. It's very important that the back line holds it down. Super important that they continue that chemistry. In terms of, the combination play that we saw that was so deadly, very important that Hyman, PT, Barco, Joseph continue what they did and be incisive through the middle because, it seems like it's been the most effective. The crosses, they were decent from the wing backs, but in terms of final ball, in terms of end product, it wasn't quite there quite yet.
Plus, I think the best teams in the world don't cross that, and don't rely on crosses. I should say.
They vary the service, and it's better if we are able to. But in terms of also the fatigue levels, that's also very important because we had a midweek match. And it got a little easier at the end, so maybe the intensity wasn't quite as kind of what you would expect from a Champions League match.
Yeah.
But still very important that they carry it on into Saturday.
It could, yeah. I mean, it could work both ways as well. I mean, we now have 2 real games under our belts against a physical opponent, a tough opponent at times. Nashville, of course, is starting fresh, so sometimes it can be tough to, I guess, maybe knock off the rust a little bit early on. So hopefully we can take advantage of that.
Yeah, and so that gets us to our predicted starting 11, and we have a slightly different one from each other.
Right,
We'll just first go through the lines. Guzan in the sticks, of course. Yeah. So in terms of 3-man back line, what do you got?
I have Escobar, I have Larry coming in, and I think Mesa moves out to the left. And so, I have Larry in the middle. I think that works on multiple levels. For one, Larry, of course, is a midfielder by trade. I think he would naturally drop between the center backs anyway. He can dictate from deep. Of course, he's tall, so, you can kind of replace Miles in that sense. And I think that's a look that I think that De Boer might experiment with, because if Miles is going to be out for a while, and then with the U23 team, and then possibly with the Olympic team, they're going to have to learn how to deal without Miles. And I mean, Walks has been fine, but I think, we should at least vary up the looks a little bit, for rotation's sake, and also, like I said, I think Larry can do a pretty good job from deep.
Yeah, and especially if Nashville decide to play Route 1 or anything like that. Yeah, that's a very good shout. I think for me, though, I think I persist with pretty much the back line that we had on Tuesday against Motagua. Escobar, Mesa, and Walks. Getting into the wing backs, I think, we probably want to be more on the front foot. And so in terms of who are the wing backs, it's probably Brooks Lennon, it's probably Jake Mulroney. And I think if it was, you could put a Walks out there on left wing back, but it's maybe a little too defensive for this type of match.
You're right, and I think Mulroney actually had a pretty good shift. He, after the game, he said his fitness level is about 70-80%, but I thought, he worked his socks off. He made a number of key interventions going back. If he can provide the service as well, he could actually, I think, do a really good job at left wing back.
Yeah, he definitely looked promising, and some of the service was, definitely something that, I was looking forward to if that was going to connect with somebody, because some of them were pretty good balls.
Right.
But in terms of midfield, we have pretty much the same midfield in terms of Hyndman and Remedi, persisting from them on Tuesday again.
Hyndman had kind of an underrated game.
Yeah, he had 98% pass accuracy, and Remedi had himself a good game as well, being able to pretty much just be on the ball and not really worry too hard about the defending aspect too much, because Motagua, they were pretty much kind of bereft of ideas, I would say.
And it could be it could be a very similar type of match. So.
Yeah, indeed. So, but in terms of the front three, we're going to say this a lot, I feel like, throughout the season. It's going to be PB&J.
Yeah.
If you like that or not, well, I'm sorry. But
we're rolling with it.
Yeah, exactly. But, in terms of that, what we would like them to do in this game, with that said, with our predictions for the 11, I think definitely, it's that keep that momentum and that continuity with the team. You only have one change. I have pretty much no changes from the starting 11.
Sure.
I think that will kind of bode well in terms of what the game plan is and what we need to do to kind of really aim for 3 points. And I think it's there for the taking on the road against a team that's still trying to figure out their identity.
In the last match against Motagua, we were pretty defensively sound, and so we'd like to see more of that, more chemistry, more communication. Of course, like I mentioned before, Mesa's new, but overall, I think, they looked pretty good together, that 3-man back line, so we want to see more of that.
Right. And support for Joseph up top in the attack like they were doing. You saw the combinations. You saw P.T. Martinez put some away with aplomb. And really, he was getting inside the box, which is really what you want him to do. Not just take those kind of hopeful balls outside of the box, but really, take his, really take his time and
because he's shown how adept he is at shooting when he's calm. I mean, that first finish where he slots it past the keeper was beautiful, in the corner.
And the second one is even more calm. He sits a couple guys down, and it's just with his right foot.
Right.
The first player wearing number 10 for Atlanta United to score with his right foot in 30 goals or something some odd like that, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Thanks to Johannes Schneider for that stat. But
yeah.
Moving on, the odds according to Bet365 for Nashville to win this match is 30.8%. To draw, it's 28.6%. And for Atlanta United to win, it's 47.6.
I feel like Nashville's odds are a tad bit high, but they tend to know what they're talking about, though.
Yeah. So no, it'll be interesting. Yeah, but I guess that pretty much kind of will lead to what our score prediction will be. Taking all of that in tow, what do you got? I
got 2-1 to the Five Stripes. Yes, I do have Nashville scoring. I think it's that inaugural franchise opening. I guess technically not franchise, but first in MLS,
Right.
It'll have that kind of feel, that emotional feel to it, and so I think maybe they'll have some momentum going for them. I think maybe the game may be cagey at times, but I think we prevail 2-1 victory.
Yeah. I think Nashville have to go for it because it's their opener. They can't just be a team that's going to be sitting back, and but I think they unfortunately. I think they don't have the quality enough to really muster up anything. Mm-hmm. I think we win this handily in a sense, 2-0. Definitely. I think it's probably going to be another Joseph goal. Probably, I think he tends to be a guy that gets on the score sheet. So safe bet there for sure.
Right.
But guys, that's pretty much the match preview. Let us know your score predictions in the comments below. But remember to subscribe if you haven't already, smash that like button, and share this video because it really does help us a lot. And for Mark, I'm AJ. Thank you guys so much for watching.